Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of the Ratliff Mandolins production diary. My name is Audie and let me tell you what I've got on the job jar list this week. It's relatively simple. We have 4 mandolins here left in this batch. These 2 need to have the finish put on them and these 2 need to have their strings put on the hardware. And so that's exactly what we're going to try to do this week. We're going to get the finish on both of these, the color, the stain, and some clear coats on both of them, and get the hardware on these 2 right here. So we're going to start with this A style right here. I'm going to put color on it and shoot some clear coats on it today, if at all possible. Let's give it a try. Okay. Now, while these mandolins are completely sanded and the surface is ready for the color, the overall mandolin's not actually completely ready because we have to have some way of holding it. And we're going to put this handle right into the end pin hole where the end pin hole will be. So we're going to draw that, drill that, tap that, and put this handle in. And then, of course, they need to be taped up and have the binding and the fretboard and everything taped. But first, let's put this handle in. I use a stack of card paper actually to make sure that the tail piece is level and the right height off of the top. Put a circle right there where I want that to be. That goes right there. I'm going to drill a pilot hole. And we are going to drill a bigger hole and tap that hole. Put a little super glue down in there, and then after the super glue dries, we'll tap it again so that we can just screw an end pin in there. Now, like I mentioned before, I will drip a little super glue down in there, and then after that super glue has dried, I will tap it again with the tap, and that'll kind of make those threads a little more solid, and this handle can screw right on in there. So I'm going to put some super glue in there and let that dry, and then tap it one more time. And now we're going to take this tape and tape that fingerboard off and the truss rod pocket, and then we're going to get some paper and stuff those F-holes with. But first we'll tape the fretboard off. And now it's ready for the stain. Now that I am ready to put stain on this A-style mandolin, let me talk just a minute about what I'm getting ready to do. As long as I have a nice, pretty sunburst on this mandolin, the color itself is not all that critical. Now, for this mandolin right here, we have a special, not necessarily all that custom a job, but you know, the customer's requested certain things about his color, and he's also sent me some pictures. And in the pictures that he sent me, it is very much similar to these colors right here with the, and this is the mandolin that we put strings on last week, by the way, with the exception of one thing, where this mandolin has about a 2-inch band of dark around it, and then a fairly quick transition from dark to light, and the center is pretty much a yellowish, a muted yellow color, and the outer band has a little bit of red in it. If you twist it in just the right light, you can see it just enough to give it a little bit of flavor, so to speak. Now, so the transition between light and dark is a fairly well-defined border right in here. The pictures that he sent me for the color that he desires on this particular F-style master model mandolin is basically these same colors with a much more gradual transition from light to dark. No really noticeable band right here. So I'm going to shoot, as a practice thing, for this mandolin here, a mandolin that's going to be colored with these colors, but without that band right there, just a gradual light to dark thing that you really don't notice. And hopefully we're going to hit and figure out the process and everything on this mandolin that it will take to make this mandolin the way the customer wants. So having said that, now it's time to put stain on this one. Okay, this looks about right to me. Looks about the right intensity of the sunburst closing in. I'm continually amazed at how much brown or how much red you have to lay on the browns to get those browns to really richen up. But that's got, it looks brown now, a nice chocolatey brown, but there's so much red in there, it's unbelievable. And the true color of that will not show up until we shoot the first clear coat on it. And I do that to mainly tack in the color so that it doesn't rub off when you're cleaning the binding or whatever you're doing to the mandolin. So I'm getting ready to do that right now. That will give us a really good sense of the color. And then when it's dry enough to handle, I will take it to the computer and hold it up against the photos that I have to try to match and see what I need to do. A little more brown, a little more yellow, whatever it might take to get as close as I can to what the customer wants for this mandolin here. But for now, we're going to shoot a clear coat on it and let that dry. I now have this mandolin ready. It's all final sanded, taped up with blue tape, as you can see, and everything is ready for the stain. And indeed, I did take this mandolin to the computer and pulled up the pictures of the mandolin that we're trying to match, held those two up, and we are pretty close, with the exception of maybe just a hair more red right in there, but this right here is pretty daggone close to what we're shooting for. So I'm just going to do this mandolin basically just like I did that mandolin, and hopefully I'll just kind of mist on just a little bit more red, but not, I mean, that much, just a little bit. And so we're getting ready to put stain on this last mandolin in the batch, an R5 master model. here we go. I think I'm pretty close. I'm gonna pull the tape off of it, shoot a coat of clear on it, which again will bring out the true color, and we'll just see just how close we got. Well, it is Friday, and as you saw, I got color on both of those mandolins this week. I did not get all of the bill coats shot, but I did get color on them, and some of the bill coats shot. This has been the Thanksgiving holiday week, and there was a doctor's appointment in there as well, and some family business, and boy, by the time it all got said and done, there just wasn't it wasn't a good full work week, but I did get the color on those two mandolins, and I did get strings on this overhaul mandolin. All the hardware and everything's put on. It is the first of those overhaul mandolins that you've seen in the past few episodes. This is the one with the really dark chocolate stain on it. Absolutely gorgeous. The curl comes through really nice, and it's got a pretty border around the oval hole, and it's just a nice little mandolin. That's a nice little mandolin. It is mandolin number 1282. And so we're going to put that in the case and finish up the paperwork and pretty much call it a week. I didn't get as much done as I wanted to, but nevertheless I did pretty good given all of the outside influences. Hey, we'll look for you next week on the next episode of the Ratliff Mandolins production diary. Hope to see you then. And with that, I'll say goodbye.